So Pete, did you want to start off with the first question, or you want to?
Yes, I will. Luke just suggested maybe give us a brief summary of what the business is about. You can't smell it. You should be able to, but I guess with the doors open it doesn't work. So explain the business, Luke. What's Artisti? Where's the name came from as well?
Yeah, for sure. So Artisti was born in 2009 actually, when we actually had a cafe in Sawtell, and over a couple of drinks we had another little business that was separate to our cafe. And we wanted to evolve at some point. We knew there was some sort of future there. We didn't know what it was. We did come up with the name Artisti Coffee Roasters, which was Artists of Espresso. And it was Artisti di Espresso, and then over time it kept getting shorter and shorter. So Italian was the kind of flavour for your name in coffee there for a while. So we've just shortened it when we were in town. It just it was Artisti HQ, and then when we came here we went back to Artisti Coffee Roasters. So that's the name. But to give you an idea, there's quite a few myths or unknowns about what we actually do as a business. A lot of people think that we serve lots of cups of coffee and we're a cafe, or we're in our vans or driving around and you can get a coffee out of the back of them. You definitely can't. That's not what we do. We support other businesses, and I think we've got 75 other wholesalers at the moment, and they range from really high-end cafes, which you would see under the Artisti brand. Then we'd have some portable vendors as well that get out to different events. And then we have a second tier brand, and that's called Black White Espresso. So a lot of people don't quite understand that. And that's about 35% of our business. So we're still offering all the same services that we offer our high-end Artisti customers, but we know that locals need some extra support and love. So we basically wanted to separate those two brands, so we have that as well. That's a great market. And over the years, actually that was formed because we actually had a lot of people who wanted an unbranded solution. We wanted to help people, but we didn't want them. They weren't quite good enough really to represent our brand that we wanted or how we looked and feel, but we wanted to give them the love and the support. And doing it unbranded, everyone kept saying it was Artisti anyway, and that was not good for us as a brand. And it wasn't really good for them because they didn't have the right identity to attach to. So that's why we formed Black White Espresso, and they're a separate brand, and they're doing fantastic as well. There's no change in product or services for them. It's just an expectation that we'd put on them as well, and they can control what they want to do themselves. So that was a great growth strategy for us. It's our third time we've moved. We did want to move again, and you'll see we're in mid-renovation at the moment. We have taken over a little bit of space for storage. It's allowed us to create this space here because this was all pallet racking and full last week. And we're just getting new offices. And because we've grown this year, we're up to 13 staff now. And predominantly that growth has really come from a couple of years ago. We started really going into the digital marketing side. So if you're not aware, we have a YouTube channel, which we're very open about what we do in cafe support, but also in the baristering side of things. So our goal is to empower business owners to have great coffee businesses, but also inspire baristas to make great coffee. So if we can focus on those two areas, we know that the baristas will love making our product and giving yourselves a great outcome when you come in and have a cup of coffee. But we know if they're not getting support from their business owner, they're not going to grow as well. So they're the two real key areas of our business. I've always hired the next person that we needed. So quite a few years ago, Jimmy came on board. Jimmy is our brand manager and sales manager over here, who created this, the branding he's wearing, I should say, at the moment, the A. So you may have noticed we've gone from a red logo about 4 or 5 years ago now to this new product. And Jimmy designed that as an external contractor. He'd been doing our branding for quite some time. But Jimmy's been in the coffee game for a long time, and then he came to work for us, and now he offers those services to our clients and does a fantastic job. Ryan at the back is videoing. Again, was a local photographer, known Ryan for many years as a mate, and now we've pushed him into videography, and he's running our whole social media and YouTube channel. So getting that next person is certainly a great way to sort of grow. And we've got our service business, so I'm really threw myself into business. We're in the cafe fixing other people's coffee machines, so we've grown that right up and trained a lot of people there. So we're that support business to the coffee industry rather than the cafe, which we did have in town there for a while, but that got out of control, and we needed to come back, and we wanted to share our business support.
Just on staff, Luke, at the moment we all know it's hard to get good staff. There's a bit of a labour shortage. How are you finding that yourself, getting good teams, good people to mention?
Yeah, definitely. We had some challenges probably a couple of years ago, and we sort of restarted with a lot of people right before probably COVID, I guess. And we had a lot of irons in the fire for people that said they wanted to work for us in the future. And we were probably quite attuned to that. And we kept looking to develop the business to fill those roles. But when we filled that role, we didn't just fill it for that need. We went, well, okay, if you're coming on board, we're gonna move forward. So we've got some very talented people in the business. Just over 12 months ago, we put in a general manager, and that was a big change for us as well. And we asked our team, who do you know, who do you think would fit our culture and could bring more to the business?
Cool. John Maxwell has a good quote about getting momentum going as a way to solve problems. How do you find you get the momentum in your business moving forward?
So solving problems is something I'm probably pretty good at. This morning our coffee machine's dead, but we jumped in and we got some other machines running. It's understanding, I guess, the skills that you've got in your team and how they can all do little bits to move forward with those. And I'm very good at seeing the outcome that I'm after. I have to be careful because I have to take people through that journey. We'll end up there, but if I kind of don't take the time to get to that journey, people won't feel like they're part of that solution. So it's definitely understanding the skills and capability of your team, allowing them to do those steps and then go forward because they'll own it through those stages. And definitely our growth has been attributed to these key people having some great stuff that they enjoy and do and bring into the business and share it with our customers. So, yeah.
Cool. We all know you do a great product. Your coffee's awesome. It's great.
Thanks.
Why are you in business, though? What is the purpose that you're in business beyond creating a great brand and a great coffee and a great experience? What is the why for actually Luke?
The why for me, I can't sit still. Yeah, look, I can't, and I don't know. Like I've joked about it many times. Even Ryan, I said when we sold the cafe, he said you're going to have a holiday, take 6 months off. I think within 6 weeks we had the roasting business, and I thought it was a long-term goal. I just enjoy the challenge of problem solving and moving forward. We don't have an outcome or a goal that we really want to say we want to be the biggest coffee business or anything. I just want to keep growing with the team and where they want to take it, and I've said that a fair bit to our team. We want to create a great culture, a great environment, a great product, but be open to what's happening and keep moving forward. Yeah, that's probably it. I had a lot of sales in the background, the thrill of a sale, getting that deal, and the old Dave ring the bell, a little bit of a buzz there, but that only lasts so long, and you've got to find something else to fill that gap. So I love to just keep going, I guess.
You've got a trip coming up soon. How do you feel about leaving the place?
Yeah, I'm really excited. So quite a few years ago I did say I want to travel Australia, and we took off 3 weeks this year to give it a bit of a trial, and part of that was not me realising I had to put a general manager in, so they've been in the company for 12 months. The team's been fully aware, everyone that's been employed knew that we were taking some time out. What that did for me is I'm happy. People think I'm not happy to let go, but I am happy to let go. But you've got to be
true.
Jimmy's smiling.
It takes. I'm happy to let go. Yes, no trust. But you have to be comfortable. I think letting go is not the issue. It's understanding that it won't happen at my pace. It's got to happen at the business pace, the team pace, so you don't burn other people out, and actually we'll get there, and it'll be a better long-term solution. So, I'm comfortable with that. We're going to take 7 months off and travel Australia with, I guess, another sort of business, another YouTube channel that we're doing, and supporting tourism and coffee. So that's another good fun.
So with the YouTube channel, because digital and social media has become a big deal these days, and a lot of businesses not so much shy away from it, but scared of it, where to start, or they look at yours and say, you've got all this stuff up there, but they don't understand you started with one. So what sort of numbers are you now attracting to YouTube channel and each post you put up?
So different platforms. When you talk social media, you've got to work out what your platform is. That's what a lot of people don't realise. We're covering, YouTube for us has been 3.5 years, I think, and nothing happened for the first 12 months. It was a real slog, and you just listen to people, and you've just got to keep doing a video every week and getting there. And then one video started to boom, and then you realise what your avenue is. And once in YouTube, we can put up a video about a review on a coffee machine, and it will get maybe 5,000 to 10,000 views. If we put up something around home baristaing or a barista and a technique, it'll go to the hundreds of thousands, within a 3-month period. So that is out where we've been pigeonholed in that medium. But what happens overall as a brand, everyone has seen us as a resource now with that content. So a lot of people have to touch base with you around 6, 7, 8 times in different platforms before you make a sale or get someone in. So for us, that's actually allowed us to do really well on the YouTube side. There's reviews. Businesses are now wanting us to help launch their brands, which is fantastic. We've got some great stuff coming in the next couple of months. But then in terms of sales, it's helping us get new customers because we do content around how to start up a cafe, how to build it, how to do layout and design, and no one's doing any of that kind of content. So filling the gaps in your industry with content might not pay off now, and some of those videos only got maybe 40,000 views, but boy, they're bringing leads for Jimmy when we want to open a cafe. So there's small numbers of content, but an amazing lead. The high volume videos of 500 odd thousands may not be bringing in sales revenue, but they are definitely doing a branding job. And you've got to be across all of them. Ryan's doing it full time now. Most of his role. We're going to keep pushing into that as well. But you've got to cover all those platforms, all those touch bases. One piece of content might work really well on YouTube, but it'll be terrible on Instagram. And it's just those different markets. So,
do you use LinkedIn a lot?
Nope.
No. Okay.
Why is that?
It's on the list. We just hadn't had time to explore it. The other ones are just a beast for us, really. LinkedIn. We should. We know that for us will probably be to network with cafes that have more than one that might look at roasting opportunities. That's the way we look at LinkedIn. So other multiple business owners are a bit higher. But at the moment, it seems to be the online business is going really well. The direct to public for coffee machines, grinders, training's going nuts, servicing's going nuts. Shipping coffee all over Australia to the domestic market's going really well for us. So we do have it earmarked to grow our wholesale contract roasting business.
Like B2B to cafes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They barely check their emails.
Yeah.
They're too busy running a cafe. Whereas when we look at contract roasting opportunities, that's when we know we should be running it. So it's just a big piece of part of it. Kind of it's another part of the business that we need to talk about. A lot going on.
Yeah. So B2C's probably been pushing us over the whole COVID period, I'd say. We definitely have the YouTube channel ready to go beforehand, and most of the YouTube channels, if you're watching them, have really boomed over that time. And you've got to look where your audience is, Australia or overseas. We got that report yesterday, Jimmy, and YouTube is... Can you remember those numbers? Because it's huge to sales.
What was it, like 80% of our social, 88% comes from YouTube, 10% from Facebook, 2% from Instagram.
There we go.
Just traffic-wise.
Yeah, traffic-wise. Yeah.
Whether it converts or not is, you never know, part of the business, but a lot more traffic.
Yeah. Before.
Percentage of traffic from YouTube.
On social.
Is that because you focus more on YouTube than the other platforms?
We do, but it's a medium that people are just watching a lot of. And where basically every video that we create, we always put a thing to go to. There's always the next move to download a video or do something. So we drive traffic from the videos. We encourage them to take action. We created a lot of content without a purpose. You create content with purpose in mind, but also it got to a point where alright, we need to sell something on the back of the video. So it's product placement is really, they are driving to buy the product if they like it. But then also just, a lot of downloadable PDFs.
Yeah.
So we've got a mailing list at the moment, 25,000 people, 3,000 last year, because you want to download a PDF, you've got to go on a mailing list. And that video's got 750,000 views on it now, so it's generated almost 20,000 subscribers. So,
Yeah. So giving something back for free, like a bit of gold, is probably the key part. Everyone wants to hang on to things and think it's your own, piece. But actually giving it out gets you far more back. It's honesty, it's open, and that's what Jimmy's talking about the PDF. So,
yeah.
we give them a template to work with, a design or an idea. It's only now we're starting to ask for sales, really. Last 2 months for saying, if you like this, you can jump on a website if you're in
We
Australia.
did learn about that. Asking for sale.
Yes, you've already given you the tip, ask for the sale.
Yeah.
But the other fact on that sales, for those who got it last week, is I think it's 87% from Stanford University says most selling is actually people connecting and communication and people knowledge. And 13% is about the product and service. You can't have a rubbish product or service, but if you actually connect with people, and the YouTube and all this stuff you're doing is actually connecting people, in a sense educating. It's all about key messaging, getting the right messages. You can't just put anything up there. But as I said earlier, it starts with nothing 3 years ago, and now they've got all this following and people, and that's only growing all the time, and you're just feeding it. One video a week. I started a YouTube channel. When our girl works for us, said, "Why don't you have a YouTube channel?" I didn't even know you could have one. And I said, "What do I do?" She said, "Just do a short video." So we're up to 150 videos. And ours is very much below the line. We're not out promoting it. We've got 33,000 hits in 12 months just on that. So people are interested if you get good, content in any business. By the way, with the WhatsApp group, if you want to ask questions after you think of something, on the WhatsApp group is someone's phone number. You can just text them if you want and ask, "Can I have a chat with you?" Because we want the group to actually learn from each other, or you might find someone like Mark and Barry with advanced technology, help you with your phone system and your computer software. Saved all my problems. They don't even have to come to my house. I just ring them up and it goes online and it's all fixed fairly quickly.
That was a free.
My kind of technology. I'll send you the invoice for the promotion.
Yeah, that's a free info promotion. Would you like to throw in Floyd water?
Yeah. Well, we've got Glenda here with Coffs Travel Agency, so she can book your travel as well. So we've got a lot of people here doing lots of stuff. If you want to deliver a baby, Harvey's here. Hopefully not in this session.
Not right now.
Oh, that's funny.
And you want a home loan, we've got Nick and Scott, so we can keep going, And Adam will do your ground, landscaping, etc., etc. Anyway, we'll keep going.
So we open it up, people?
Yeah, so questions, we've got more, but we'd like, because we had some great questions last time for John with the Flow business. So, yeah, good on you, mate. I knew you'd be one.
Your hardest battle in business, how did you overcome it?
My hardest battle?
Your hardest in your
battle.
business where you thought this is unsolvable or where you were really stuck, and how did you overcome it and what did you learn of it?
It wasn't a sales thing, it wasn't a business thing, it wasn't our customers, it was my brain. It really was. And I think in business we all get to a point we might have a burnout and if we're entrepreneurs, that's why we're doing this. We're not doing it for, hourly rates. We want to keep pushing ourselves. Knowing when you've over-pushed yourself is probably the hardest point. Definitely that would be why we moved from in town. I took on a facility in town. We had our roasting at the back, a cafe at the front if you weren't aware. We didn't want to do anything other than we do here. Show all the accessories and sell coffee, no food. I said to my wife we're not having a cafe again because we'd been there and that was 7 days a week and challenging for us as a family. Then we just had people coming in and just wanting to hand us money continually to have more food and more services, and that grew very quickly. So we got up to about 23 or 24 staff or something like that, and it was just full on. It wasn't what I wanted, it wasn't where we were going, and we had to stop that. So that challenge was my brain just trying to work out two different businesses, a cafe and a roasting business, and understand which one I was passionate about and where my energy could be put. The clincher for that was my dad passed away, and my dad was my mentor. There's no doubt about it. It used to be hard for me to talk about, but I know that now. So I said, okay, I've got to stop, and I just had to take things out of my life and refocus. We sold that business. We dropped, well over $1 million in sales a year, and obviously an income to do that. But to rebuild myself after that was really, yourself and me and Luke Alcock. Firstly, when Luke said, let's do a business group meeting, I said yes straight away. And we had that, and then Peter came along, and that's what's formed that network. And for me, that's why I want to host it. I love it. That's actually my resource now. All right, so I don't think I've shared that with you, but that's what rebuilt me
Some good mark.
and took me where we are. Yeah, I just needed something. I needed someone, because my mum and my wife would go somewhere for dinner or way out home, and my dad and I would be talking about business, and they're saying, "Stop talking about it." And I'm like, "Well, that was what my relationship was with him. That was my way to do that." So finding a mentor, finding a group or something. So I'm really excited to have you all here and doing this. This is fantastic to have that.
Thank you.
Yeah. So well done. Thank you for saving me. No, I'm serious.
We've got to keep the coffee rolling.
That was the key thing. It was such a good thing to have other people to connect with.
So you've got coffee here, but you also got tea, and you've got all the equipment, etc. Most people, we learn in our days with coffee, is that people bought a lot of coffee equipment from the retail stores, but it actually was in their cupboard, never got out, they didn't use it or couldn't use it or forgot about it. Millions of dollars were spent on and stuck in a cupboard. So if you sell someone one of those, one group, I've got the La Mazorca at home. Sorry, I didn't get it from you. I bought it before I knew it.
I sell La Mazocco, you sell Mazorca.
Yeah, it's all It's the same problem I have. It's the same problem I have in pronouncing Artisti, because Sue keeps correcting me every 5 minutes, and I don't have the name right. But at least I start with A.
We can service it for you.
Yeah, okay, I know that.
Delivery on the way, Doctor?
So, if people buy this, do you give them training, or do you say, here's the box, go home and just read the instructions?
No, so everything we sell, if we sell it online and ship it, you get 3 months worth of coffee for us, because we can't help that training period. Anything we sell here, we bench test it, we get you in, we do a training session, and we still give you coffee as well to go home. There is no point in us selling you this gear if you don't know how to use it. You actually just ring us back up again and say, oh, it's not working, and you're taking up far more time. So the delivery of our product in that home market is huge. We're obviously incentivising them to use our coffee, and then once they enjoy it, we move forward there. But we're very honest in coffee. If anyone here makes coffee and you go around and you buy beans everywhere and you go, oh, this one worked really well and this one worked terrible. It's actually not the beans, it's you. And I can't stress that enough. You need to understand how to work the device and what you're working with before you start to change things. Right? So once you've learned how to do it, you need to stick with one product and be very familiar with that, so that when you do go with something else different, you can understand how to work it. And that'll be the same with anything in your business and your customers. You need to get them to understand it fully so they can get the most out of it. And then they'll see that you're the best solution, or you've got the best answer for them. So if you're selling, I don't know, a software solution or another product, if your customers are only using it at 20%, you're failing. But if they're using it at 70, 80, 90, and they're pushing you to understand more about your product, then you'll never lose them, because they're getting the maximum out of it, you're giving them most support. You probably find that you're challenging customers, but if they're always like pushing you, like, gee whiz, okay, I gotta step up my game. And that will help the momentum as well.
Yes, true.
So think about how you implement your product or service to your customers.
So, questions? Any more questions?
Hey, Luke, what sort of vision or goals do you set yourself? Like, do you have a 3-year goal? Do you have a 6-month goal, 12-month goal, 3-year goal? How do you work your goals moving forward?
Yeah, they're not. To be honest, we had this thing. We needed to get over 1.2 tonne of coffee per week, and boy, it just stifled us. It really did. It was a number that just was hanging over our back for so long, and we could never get past it. And I just said, stop thinking about that number, and we just started saying, we just want to be the great coffee. We want to, invest in those people and look at more opportunities. So we probably looked at more culture, more branding, and the natural progression is happening with that. The bigger goals are, yes, we want to have a bigger facility. We had a 4-year term on that to grow into it. We've always invested in staff ahead of time rather than, what we need now. So the goals were more around what can we provide, what services can we offer, and the sales and the dollars will come with it, rather than we need to do X amount of sales and we're going to push to reach that. So that was probably our way of looking at it, finding the right people that want to be involved in the business, and the growth will come naturally. There was no, we were just on YouTube and that. We didn't say we want to be the biggest YouTube channel. We didn't say we want to grow.
No, the goal is caravan trip.
Caravan trip. That's my trip. That's my goal.
That's the vision, caravan.
Everything else is true on that.
That's the direction, yeah, definitely it is. That's personal goal.
The goal of you wanting to do that trip is really encourage you to employ people that become available. So,
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So
that
now,
personal goal, I think, is taking some pressure off you business-wise, because that would be a natural thing that you want to do for yourself, and you're working towards that. So when you start making your own money to afford that,
Yep.
it takes the pressure off the extra costs of stuff.
Yeah, it's not cheaper.
Yeah.
yeah. So that's good. Building the team means you can take that time off
Yep.
because you can trust them.
Yeah, definitely. I can trust them. Just on that, looking at how... I was away with some friends the other week, and I got into tax, personal tax, painful number anyway. But in business, we're a bit different. And if you look at a lot of other things that are happening out there in social media, and they talk about, businesses and how you pay tax. Big businesses don't pay tax. If you can be smarter in that and do things, I think that's something I'd like to share with you. The YouTube channel opened up a lot of other things for us, because I love four-wheel driving, caravan, camping, things like that. But it's allowed me to make another business that is linked by YouTube that essentially allows us to put that all through the tax side. But because we're going to do travelling coffee, it just works very well. So I don't know if that inspires you to think of another avenue that you enjoy and how you can bring the two together to make it business rather than your personal funding. Because that's a huge thing for me to be able to do that. What can you do to bring it in as a business from a advertise? That's basically advertising. I'd never be able to go out and do what I could do if we didn't say it was a YouTube channel and the marketing side, bringing it back to coffee. So maybe think outside the box if you can bring your hobbies into your business.
There'll be a few of us following you on your trip.
Yeah.
Making a tax relief.
Well, if anyone wants to do it, Rob over here's got a bus. He's just come back from around Australia, wanting to sell.
Yeah.
Paul's looking at it. Can't convince Karen though.
What can I do for?
So, what's the best advice someone's given you in business?
Best advice. Just the old one. Work hard and be good to your mum. And that was there because my dad, said that basically. And having that respect, for the older people and the knowledge there. I think that's probably the one. We have one person from every generation in our business. So teens right up into 60s. And it's a respect that's there all the way through. So I think for me, just respecting people that have that and being open to it. So I don't think really, other than like get out now, you're going to lose a lot of money. I've had that one and I listened. But no, I don't think anyone's really poked me or prodded me that I can think of in that side of things.
Make it happen.
Make it happen, boy. Jimmy made up a slogan, make it happen.
Make it happen. Oh, that's pretty simple. I love that.
Actually, a cultural thing. Every year, Jimmy loves his designs. We came up with a theme for the year, every year. And one was make it happen. And that was when COVID happened. A busy year. We just made it happen. We come up with a new idea and we go, yep, great. Make it happen. All right. Why do we make that? Why do we say that?
There's a question there, John.
Yeah.
So, being on the journey over the last couple of years, with everyone experiencing the same, you mentioned COVID.
Yep.
You mentioned that I remember in the early days, just before COVID actually impacted us.
Yep.
I think you lost about 12.5% in your business in about a second.
Yep.
How did that, talking about making it happen, how did you make it happen?
Yeah, we lost more than 12.5% for sure. Like instantly the cafes couldn't serve dining. But what we've always done is we've never had a very top-heavy style business with our customers. As much as we have these customers that do 5 kilos a week or 10 kilos a week, we've got some really big accounts as well. We have a very even spread across all of our base. So there was a big reduction there. But thankfully, we always knew that restaurants aren't our key customer because they don't do a lot of coffee. We'd focused on takeaway coffee probably more so than anything, so that was a really good, dining cafe and takeaway. So that was actually a really good thing where they said, we're closing everything down, but you can still do takeaway. We were told by quite a few customers we were the best resource for our customers in that time to be able to get through that. Every week sending a new email, something new came out, giving a new ideas. Again, having the team like Jimmy to do some great designs and EDMs and pumping out all this content. So it was only like for a small fraction of the time we actually went below 30%. So we actually didn't get any of those government incentives. The issue we had there was we'd sold heavy coffee equipment to the TAFE for their big new training facility, and it all came through right in those wrong times. But in saying that, I was open and honest with the team. We didn't have any of those $750 things. Everyone still got paid their same amount of money. We just worked through it. We just kept saying, no, we're going to keep going. We focus on sales and helping our customers more rather than going, let's go into damage mode. And that was really that sort of 6-month period, which was a bit challenging. The YouTube started to go up, which was great. So we get paid by YouTube. We're getting about $2,000 a month at the moment now from them. Back then it was maybe $1,000 a month. So we could see that the energy we were putting into those spots was great. The minute they said lockdowns, we just said, what content can we produce for 6 weeks? And we said, we need to train new cafes. So we focused on how we could support new cafes opening that was not remote. So that actually helped us to grow again. Now we're using that content to keep bringing new customers on without even seeing them. So we just kept looking for solutions that allowed us to keep business going and keep growing, not stopping and saying we're going to fall over. So, yeah.
I'm sure there's a few burning questions. We'll come to that. Is how do you get paid by YouTube?
Ad revenue.
Ad revenue. How's that work?
So every time someone views your ad, you might get an ad at the start, and if it's over 10 minutes, you can put in a second ad for 10 minutes. Yep, you can have 2 ads and you get paid by that essentially. So the views that they watch. So
that it's attractive because of the number of views you're getting, they can sell content to advertisers.
Correct. The better your content is, the better you rate, the more they want to put a higher paid ad in front of your content. It's a long-term game, any of that social media. You've got to be in it for a long time and keep it going. So the videos that we've got, some of them were 3 years old, and they're now just really starting to churn. So the life of that video will bring us $500, $800 or something like that. But initially it was nothing. It probably cost us $250 to do a video, you reckon? By the time we do all of our... Yep, it's been 3 of us basically 2.5 days a week working on that. So that's that labour cost plus the equipment and things we have to do it. But over time it's really starting to pay off. And it's always there. Interestingly, I was talking to Ryan about some of the podcasts that we're looking at and listening to. We'll listen to a lot of those, and we'll probably get into podcasts. I don't know, there's some pressure there to talk and share more. But interesting, what people have done in podcasts is if you mention the word COVID, it just flags it in the list. I don't know if you've watched it. It's like, this has a COVID in it, has COVID in it. We didn't talk about COVID. And so our content is super relevant now. People can go back and watch it, but no one wants to go back and look at COVID content anymore. So that was a real interesting one. We just naturally did it. We just tried to be positive. And some other guys in podcasts weren't talking about it. So, yeah, hopefully if you didn't do that, whatever you did in that time will be still valuable. Unfortunately, if you did put COVID in there, maybe go back and try and rejig or re-look at that now that we're past it. That might help you.
Yeah. And that might cost them $250 a video, but you can use this. I use that for all mine.
Yeah.
I did spend $15 in Kmart for a stand to stick the phone on so it didn't shake when I was holding it.
Yeah.
All of that YouTube content is shot on phones.
Yeah.
Take shots in every B-roll.
We went and spent $20,000 on iPhone 11 Pros. Everyone had to have the right phone. If you're in there, you could take a good video for your customer or a good photo, and then that was the start of it. Yeah. That was a distinct commitment to the team, but yeah.
So we've got a few more minutes. Question here, there was Mark.
Anyone else?
There you go.
You've mentioned twice about like these long-term ROI activities. And I just want to pick your brain as to whether that was a financial buffer that you had that allowed you to invest into YouTube. And I think you said you hired staff ahead of time. So these like long-term payoff plays, was that a revenue buffer that allowed you that, or was it like inspirational mindset that allowed you to do it? And just to frame my question, the reason why I'm asking is I have a lot of people that work with us who struggle to get into that zone. They're just wanting the shortest ROI possible, so they can be like confidently stepping forward because they know money's going to come back in.
Yep.
So just like Floyd Picky Brand was one of those, or something I didn't mention.
Sure. I think there's a mindset in a lot of people's businesses, and why they fail in those first couple of years is they want to get the money out themselves straight away in their business. They don't want to inject any money back into their business. So I confidently can say I haven't robbed our business of cash at all over the years. It's taken a lot of time to get to the point going, oh, can I buy that myself, or do I need that for the business? Probably in the last couple of years that I've been able to do that. So I've continually injected back into the business, but knowing again what we need next. So we bought $400,000 worth of roasting equipment, and we'd literally roast in 4 hours. And we're going, okay, what do we do? Well, we freed up a lot of time, but from a big investment. Yeah. So now that only works now 1 and a bit days a week. It can go for 5 days a week. So we could still go 10 times bigger in the business, but we've already paid for the asset. So we've done that across the business a lot. We're pretty much self-funded. Because we make sure we look after our margins, we buy the things and be ahead in that to have those buffers. So when COVID hit, we definitely had those old mentalities where people said, make sure you've got enough money in the bank to last a year and things like that. And the big guys talk about it, but small businesses don't kind of aim for it. So I'd probably say aim to do that in your business, because if you can have that in the bank, you'll feel far more comfortable. And if it's a year of sacrifice, you know you've got a buffer and a model that will continue to do that for you. But if you're going to start, trying to do it short term and pull the money out, I mean,
I don't think that's that. Like, you got to do both. It's not really one or the other. I think. Yeah. Like we say, we've hired people, but like I'm a sales guy. I just do YouTube videos because I know it adds value to what I do. Yeah. So I do sales and marketing and graphic design, and YouTube's actually not my thing. And Ryan was packing and still packs and still does a lot of things in the business. So it's probably trying to do both, and now that scales are tipping, and Ryan can do more of his week, and maybe, and eventually that would be all he does. But I don't think any business could really survive off just being like your full-time specialist. And I think that dream of having a social media person in-house full-time or isn't real. Like, they still have, there's so many other things that we all do. So it's but you've got to do both at the same time. It's really hard on the day. Like for me, I just want to go do sales and close that deal, and then like Ryan's like, come shoot a video. Like it's hard, but I know that like I've gotten deals off the back of YouTube video, so it's kind of a long-term game. As long as someone in-house and you have that plan, is kind of making you do it, and you know it's worth it, and we now see it's worth it. There was a time there where it did really feel like it was worth it, so it kind of freed up some time to do it. Yeah. Kind of took us off the road, and I'm like, all right, I'm not on the road, let's do that. Like, yeah, that's it. There was more. You just got to do it all.
Yeah, you got to know where your avenues are of income and what's profitable, and you can spin your wheels on all that stuff that's not profitable and takes up a lot of time. So definitely, probably multiple times I said to Ryan, I don't know if we should do this. Should we go to one a fortnight? And we, kept pushing back to being one a week, and that was, Ryan was really into it, which was great, and could give us that pressure and accountability on that to keep it going. But we didn't stop anything else we were doing. We still weren't. Yeah. We're still pushing to try online sales. We're still trying to get more cafes. We're still trying to sell cups of coffee out of here or beans locally. So knowing all your sales channels and make sure you do keep pushing them, not take one away, would be the key.
I think that's the answer I was looking for, because you said you might step into a podcast. I'm like, where are you going to find the 2 hours a week at least to sit down and do that, where it doesn't take away from something else? Or you could, but as in, I was thinking you're going to trade it for something else. I'm like, what are you doing now that doesn't need to be done so you can fill that space in the podcast? So I think you answer that and I'll answer that question.
Well, yeah, look, podcasts are 3 hours. It seems to be the 3-hour chat that everyone wants. Jimmy and I had a bit of fun. We had to drive to Sydney. So we did 3 videos, just driving in the cars, chatting to each other. 2 GoPros, yep, driving along. So, drive time coffee chats, check it out.
There's a book called 4,000 Weeks, and it's about your average life has 4,000 weeks in it. And it's basically, the concept is that you have to sacrifice something. Like, you don't have enough time in your week, there's always a give and take. So it's personal preferences of what you think is more valuable than the other thing. If we do a podcast, it's going to sacrifice some time. Like, we work more, but to not burn out, you want to make sure it's within a reasonable amount of time.
Yeah.
So we probably find another way to shift, or find some space in, or like just get more productive in another area.
Yeah.
But you're always going to have to kind of shuffle.
Yeah.
But one of the things with a podcast, it can become a promotional, long-term promotional piece. The guy who does a lot of stuff with John Sycamore and I in Melbourne, he runs them once we've done a webinar or podcast as an evergreen. And it just runs at all different times on the internet, not live. People think it's still live because that's how we did it. And I'm getting texts and emails from people saying, I'm just watching this thing on managing difficult people. This is really fantastic. And I'm thinking, oh, didn't realise I was on here.
Yeah.
But you get a lot of value out of these things long term. It's not once and it's dead. So it's a bit of an investment in this.
It is. It's an investment, but it doesn't have to be amazing quality. It's just got to be good quality and consistent. So I look around here and I start thinking about all the 10 things, your top 10 things you guys do, or your little tips that you always keep, helping your customers, like issues, let's say, your top 10 issues. If you just put those top 10 issues in your social media platform with a story or a video or a reel or whatever, and answered those, because you're doing it all the time, there's going to be so many other people that will be having to deal with that, and you just answered it. Because you gave them the answer, they'll probably give you your business. So if it's, IT stuff, turn it off, turn it on again. top number one tip. I know it's silly, but...
That's my technology.
Right? So, sharing your top 10 issues quickly is...
Okay, well, we're nearly 8 o'clock. We finished. It's a burning question from anyone? No.
I want to share one thing.
Oh, Lottie. Yes, Lottie.
Yeah.
Talk about culture a fair bit. Do you have identified business values that you keep going back to, or?
Yep. So, I'll be really honest here.
That looks like fine print.
Right. Okay. That is who is Artisti. If you want to work in the business and you want to know what an Artisti person looks like, that is our culture. Have a read of it. It talks about not where we want to go, but who we are as a person, what we value, if we're not going to be, lazy. We're not going to do all those kinds of things. We're going to be passionate about coffee. So that's definitely something Jimmy and helped us write. And then we have our vision and mission statement as well. We didn't have those for many years, but definitely with the new brand and things, we had to come up with that. And it's definitely, what's on that paper is still very relevant, and it's who we are. Definitely.
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
Well, because it's also we wrote it about us, but it's actually who we attract. That's the most powerful thing, because it's as we get busier and we start saying we can't really service everyone. Someone comes to us, they need a kilo of coffee a week. I really can't have the time to go through the whole process that we do and all the love that we do. So we're at a point now we need to attract the people that we want to work with, they're passionate also, and they suit us. They could work with us, and they've got the same values. So it's culturally, internally, that helps us, but also we just attract people. Most of the staff here has come out of other businesses that we've worked with, and that have known our culture internally, and they like it, and then they're like, oh, I could really see myself working there.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, I hope you got something out, at least something out of this session to challenge you or make you think through some of the things you're doing in business or opportunities, or someone you can speak to that actually can be a help to help you push forward. Don't forget the bags of coffee and the coffee dipper on your desk, and the book over there. And
can I share one last thing?
Sure.
So again, I do want to go on a trip, and I needed to work a way out to do it. I didn't think general manager was my thing, but to get one in. But I did a lot of research, spoke to other business guys that have done it, and they said it's the best thing they ever did, but they hired the person that's opposite to them. So if you're looking at doing that, definitely look at someone that does your weaknesses really strong, and then entitle them, and you'll have two people moving forward. And that has been fantastic for us, because my team are now getting far better support and resource than I could ever give them. And it's fantastic, and I think they probably attribute to that, because now they walk past me and they go to write, our general manager, who's actually on holidays and leave at the moment. But I look at that and go, oh wow, that's amazing, because I know he's going to give them far better than whatever I could do. So if you want to talk more about that, happy to look at it. It's scary to do it, but what it can free you up to do what you're really good at in your business, I would love to have those chats with you to try and inspire you to do it, if that's going to help you get to the next level.
Yeah, one of the things I certainly learnt in Gloria Jean's days was sharing the vision, mission and values with new franchisees, potential, plus new employees while we're interviewing them. And I had people roll their eyes when I shared them. We never hired them because they weren't going to row with us in the same journey. And I know it's tough getting people, but unless they're in the boat rowing with you through good and bad times, they're only going to drag your business down. It's better to tough it out till you get the right people. The second thing, if you're struggling in business and you need some help, My Trust pays John to do 2-hour free sessions. We call them crunch sessions. Had phenomenal results with people doing these. So if you're interested, come and see me or John down the end with the glasses sitting on his head. If you want to do that session, that's open. So there's a lot of help around to help you on the journey. So thank you. Thank you, Luke.
Thank you. And
Thank you.
yeah.